Greater light. Uh-oh. Greater light. Uh-oh. I might not be able to sing tomorrow. Uh-oh. Greater light. Uh-oh. Oh, no. Greater light. I gotta do it like that. For those who don't know, every day I've been singing to the glory of God. Huh? I've been singing, getting my tones and frequencies to travel at light speed, 16.7 billion light years away so far. Huh? So far. That's what I've been doing. Huh? Getting those frequencies. They say that NASA them lied to, or one of them scientific research and development liars saying they received a frequency, a radio signal from so many billions of light years away, so many years ago. Okay, well, if we could send frequencies like that, I've been sending them out every day for the past, let's count down. Has it been 7 days? And my voice is trying to go. One lady said, "You're still singing?" Yes, I'm still singing. Somebody told me the first day I wouldn't be able to sing the second day for as loud as my voice has been carrying. As a matter of fact, the mailman, Mr. Postman, he said, "I heard you all the way from the stoplights." I said, "Really? My voice carried that far?" That far. Well, anyways, that's not so important, is it? The important thing is I made it to come to you with another live session from the living Word of God. Huh? And I'm enjoying this one here tonight because, okay, the last live I did was in the 11th book of the Bible, the 11th chapter of the Bible that I counted on my 11th finger. Do you know the significance of the 11 when it comes to veterans? Huh? That World War One ended on the 11th hour of the 11th month in the 11th day. Huh? Well, if the war ended on the 11th month of the 11th hour, the 11th day, there wouldn't be any more wars right now, right? So they lied on the number 11. They always lying on the number 11. Huh? Because if we're in World War III, or like President Trump said, this would be World War VI, either one of the wars, world wars, means that the first war never ended. Is this a never-ending story? I tend to believe President Trump in the history. If we talking to 6,000 years from the beginning of the Bible, then we're talking about World War VI. Or is this the third war in heaven or the second? I don't know all these wars. It's continuous, meaning the war never ended. The 11th, 11 is a lie. Okay, anyways, when I was reading that, I said that there were things that I would go back to research. And First and Second Kings, or First Kings, was the 11th book of the Bible. But so I decided to go back to Second Samuel to kind of try to comprehend Sheba's roll, the horn, the unicorn. I found where the unicorn is in the Bible. The unicorn is the Horn of Africa. Because y'all know they dig up so many fossils, right? And they find all kind of stuff, but they have never found a fossil of a unicorn. So I'm telling you that the unicorns are fairy tales. They're either the rhinoceros or it is the Horn of Africa, which is Sheba. And why am I concentrating on the Horn of Africa? If you go back and listen to that video, Sheba is going to point its finger. This is in Revelation 2. Sheba is going to point its finger. Now, I'm thinking it did say Queen of Sheba in Revelation. Is that Revelation? You might need to go back and study for yourself. Don't believe nothing I'm saying. Go research it for yourself. Queen of Sheba in the end days will point her finger. Now, why does Sheba have magical powers that she'll be able to come back? Because she's from the land of fairy tales. She's from the unicorn, the Horn of Africa. And 2 Samuel 20, there's a being called Abishai. Abishai. I'm just saying. What is the proper way to say it? Abishai? Abishai? Ashai? Abishai. Abishai. That's why that's in the title. Abishai is a he being, a being, right? Why would I feel any type of connection? Just because my name is connected. Yeah, my name is connected to these stories in the Bible that have to do with David. Right. Abishai was Abigail's nephew, according to the Bible. Oh, David's nephew or Abigail's nephew? Well, David's sister's son. But it's an AI. Yeah. A-bish AI. I'm going to read just for entertainment purposes. Entertainment purposes. Okay? You ready? Sheba rebels against David. Should I go back to 19? Let me see. Give me a second. The tribe of Joseph again. See, I'm sticking on the tribe. All right. Really, if I tell you Sunday school lesson, let me see if I'm going to show it to you real quick. Give me a second. Let me flip the pages and go to the Sunday school lesson. And everything that I'm doing is connected. Y'all, let's ask Joseph. No, we're not going to ask Joseph. We don't have to do that anymore. I'm the one giving all answers. Because I'm studying to show thyself approved. I'm showing myself approved. Okay. In Sunday school class, we were reading Acts 23, right? And I wrote this here. Even though that doesn't say anything here, while we were in the mid of the lesson, in the mid of Acts 22, I wrote tribe of Joseph. Okay? Then, when I came home and I studied First Kings again, First Kings 11, it brought me to this one right here about Sheba in 2 Samuel 20. See, I'm not doing this on purpose. But all those years that I've studied the Bible and different books, like the Emerald Tablets and other scripts and other codexes, now I'm able to make connections with like no effort. So, all right, now you know why I done skipped from Acts, from First Kings to 2 Samuel. All right, ready? Then a hot-headed whose name was Sheba. Now, this is before Sheba became the Horn of Africa, right? Before Sheba became the unicorn, and before the Queen of Sheba points her finger in Revelations. A hothead. Sheba was a hothead. Now, is this Sheba a man or a woman? Is it a man or a woman? I don't know. Let me go ahead. I'm going to try to read and be quiet. Then a hothead whose name was Sheba, son of Bichri, or Bichri, a Benjamite, blew a trumpet and yelled, "We want nothing to do with David. Come on, you men of Israel. Let's get out of here. He's not our king." Meaning that the Benjamites were Israelites. Right? Right? No? You don't know? All right. So all except Judah and Benjamin turned around and deserted David. David was already losing it all. And then Solomon helped him lose the rest. For real. Wait a minute. Let me finish. Be quiet. Let me read and be quiet. Let me read. We want nothing to do with David. Come on, you men of Israel. Let's get out of here. He's not our king. So all except Judah and Benjamin turned around and deserted David and followed Sheba, meaning Israel transcended into the Horn of Africa. No, yes, but the men of Judah stayed with their king, accompanying him from Jordan to Jerusalem. When he arrived in his place in Jerusalem, the king instructed his 10 wives he had left to keep the house should be placed in seclusion. So he had 10 wives that he needed to be put in seclusion. Their needs were to be cared for, he said, but he would no longer sleep with them as his wives. So they remained virtual widowhood until their deaths. They went into virtual reality. Widowhoods, not Little Red Riding Hoods. They was widowhoods until their death. Oh, that's what it feel like for me. So far, 6 years. I'm in the virtual widowhood. I didn't even know that was, let me underline that. I didn't know that was a true statement. Huh? I didn't know that. Look at that. Now when somebody say something to me, I'm going to tell them I'm in virtual widowhood. And I can mark my paperwork when it says separated. I'm in VW. Whew, boy, until their death. Oh, there ain't no marriage in heaven. Then the king instructed Massa, to mobilize the army of Judah within 3 days. There you go. I was listening to Gremlin and Copper Christ on London McLovin talking about them 72 hours. Them 3 days. It's always 72 hours. With the 72? Or is it 72, the year 72? Everything was locked and sealed after the 72. You would have to go and read some Pa Nabab Yanan, some of his good work to know about the 72. Or you would have to be good with numbers. But them 3 days right there, the king instructed Amasa to mobilize the army of Judah within 3 days and to report back at a time. So Massa, went out to notify the troops. But it took him longer than the 3 days he had been given. He had already committed a offense. He went too long. So here comes Abishai. David said to Abishai, that fellow Sheba is going to hurt us more than Absalom did, because they went over 72 hours. Quick, take my bodyguard. The bodyguard has come. I want to run to you. And chase bank after him before he gets into the fortified city where we can't reach him. So Abishai and Joab set out after Sheba with an elite guard from Joab's army and the king's own bodyguard. David was scared of Sheba. Now, mind you, Sheba went into the unicorn, went into the Horn of Africa, and David wanted to come follow behind. It's something don't seem right about that. Why he chasing them when they left him alone? So Abishai and Joab set out after Sheba with an elite guard from Joab's army and the king's own bodyguard. As they arrived at that great stone in Gibeon, a stone in Gibeon, I'm underlining that so I can look it up later, they came face to face with Amasa. Joab was wearing his uniform with a dagger. They go to dagger squad, strapped to his side. As he stepped forward to greet Amasa, he stealthily slipped the dagger from its sheath. Are you in stealth mode? Sheath. I'm glad to see you, my brother, Joab said, and took him by the beard with his right hand as though to kiss him. Amasa didn't notice the dagger in his left hand, and Joab stabbed him in the stomach with it, so that his bowels gushed out into the ground. Now, wait a minute. So back then, they used to pull each other by the beard and kiss each other. And it seemed like Joab would have been happy if he would have kissed him. Who is Joab? All these abs up in here. I need to go back. Who was Joab? So Joab set out after Sheba, face to face with Amasa. Amasa didn't notice the dagger. Joab was related somehow, or must have been the lover of Amasa. Had to be, because he let him pull him by the beard. Ain't no man, like, can you imagine? Well, maybe the way these days is, huh? Like Lil Wayne walking up to Rick Ross and pulling his beard back. Yeah, they make, you know what? Yeah, so they worked together somehow. They was a team. For him to just let him pull on his beard, and then he didn't even notice, he was so in awe and happy or whatever that he let him gush his guts all into the ground. He did not need to strike again, and he died there. Joab and his brother Abishai left him lying there and continued after Sheba. Dang, just like that. Dog, Abigail's nephew was ruthless. Woo, woo. One of Joab's young officers shouted to Amasa's troop, "If you are for David, come and follow Joab." But Amasa lay in his blood in the middle of the road. And when Joab's young officers saw that the crowd was gathering around to stare at him, they dragged him off the road into a field and threw garment over him. With the body out of the way, everyone went on with Joab to capture Sheba. Meanwhile, Sheba had traveled across Israel to mobilize his own clan of Berchi or Bichiri at the city of Abel and Beth Maach. Oh, Maacah, Beth Maacah. Abel and Beth Maacah. I'm going to underline that too. Because there go Abel, the city of Abel. So Abel comes back into the scene. Abel, y'all know who Abel is, right? Cain and Abel. Do you know who Abel is? Abel is in Genesis. So Abel comes back into the scene with Abishai. Really? No? I'm saying that's what the Bible say. Okay? You don't have to believe me. You could go check it out. But in case you don't remember who Abel was a shepherd. Right? And Cain was a farmer. Cain dealt with agriculture, like my elder told me. And Abel was a shepherd. So he dealt with the meat, sacrificing the meat. Abel comes back into the scene in Beth Maacah. When Joab's forces arrived, they besieged Abel and built a mound. Now we're talking about Indians, because mainly mounds is an Indian thing. Pyramids is a different. Temples is another. Synagogues is another one. Mounds on the top of the city wall and began battering it down. So they start stumping down the mounds of Abel. I thought Abel was already gone and dead. I thought Cain killed him. See, when I told you they flipped the script, and when I asked you Which one is which? If Cain is the one that is the vampires, but he was a vegan, and Abel is the one that was a shepherd that was killed, how come they still stumping down Abel way in 2 Samuel? Huh? 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 The script was flipped. No, they flipped the script. But no, it's okay. We're going to follow the script the way they got it. Let me read and be quiet. When Joab's forces arrived, they besieged Abel and built a mound to the top of the city wall and began battering it down. But a wise woman, oh, it'd always be a wise woman, like a bish, AI, is the father's joy. It's the same as Abigail was a father's joy, and she was one of the most wisest women in the Bible. But they not talking about Auntie right here, huh? Maybe, maybe not, because they didn't tell you. All through the Bible, it says anonymous when it comes to David. Because remember, she was so wise that David had to use her wisdom over and over and over again. And she was so wise that she probably told him, you ain't getting no more of my wisdom, just the way, huh? You ain't getting no more of it unless you put them 10 wives away, huh? No, okay, let me be quiet. Let me be quiet and keep reading. So let's see what Auntie did in here. But a wise woman in the city called out to Joab. Listen to me, Joab. Come over here so I can talk to you. As he approached, the woman asked, Are you Joab? And he replied, I am. So she told him, there used to be a saying. Now she talking about something way back, old days. That's like me talking about some stuff that my grandma say that her mama used to say, right? My grandma's still here to tell it. So she said, there used to be a saying, if you want to settle an argument, ask advice at Abel. Wait a minute. Why would they be asking advice at Abel if Abel is dead already? They talking about the place. So you got to go to a place and ask advice. To a wall, knock on the wall, knock on wood. Hey, I got some advice, Abel. She said, if you want to settle an argument, ask advice at Abel. For we always give wise counsel. Now she's letting them know she from Abel or she was able. Let me tell you, I was telling my mother today, I said, and I told this to someone else about Abel. The person walked back and forth a couple of times, and when he put his offering into the container, he said, God is able. That's all he said. And from that moment, I began to praise where I was standing. That's just a testimony about what happened throughout my day today. Out of all the people that I encountered, when he said, God is able, I began to praise. I'm not exaggerating. I'm not making this up. I said this to someone earlier, way before I decided to do this live. Then I told it to my mother, and here we are, where this wise woman says, there used to be a saying, if you want to settle an argument, ask advice of Abel, for we always give wise counsel. You are destroying an ancient, peace-loving city, loyal to Israel. All I want is a man named Sheba from a hill country of Ephraim who has revolted against King David. If you will deliver him to me, we will leave the city in peace. All right, the woman replied, we will throw his head over the wall to you. Then the woman went to the people with her wise advice, and they cut off Sheba's head and threw it out to Joab. And he blew the trumpet and called his troops back from the attack. And they returned to the king at Jerusalem. Joab was the commander-in-chief of the army, and Benaiah, the Benaiahs, was in charge of the king's bodyguard. Ador, remember the Ador, when those who called the Ador in Jesus' name, them skivas. Ador was in charge of the forced labor battalions, and Jehoshaphat was the historian who kept the records. Sheba was the secretary, and Zadok was, and Abiathar were chief priests. Ira and Jerite was David's personal chaplains. So they letting y'all know all those Israels, the ones who harmed the peaceful, peace-loving city, the ancient Israelites, the Benjamites, that left and went to the Horn of Africa, and David chased them down, It's like it's still going on. World War I never ended on 11/11. At 11, on the 11th hour. And it's still going on. Now, I could go do some more history and some more reading, but this is connected to today. This right here is connected to 1 Kings. No, 1 King 11 chapter. And why Solomon did what he did. I went to look for the Acts of Solomon, and the Acts of Solomon that was supposedly recorded, they destroyed them books. Them books are nowhere to be found in history. So up until Solomon's death, and it says, look, the rest of what Solomon did and said is written in the books of Acts of Solomon. That was destroyed. He ruled Jerusalem for 40 years and then died and was buried in the city of his father David. Let me tell y'all a little bit more history about Abishai. A what? Abishai, yeah, for real. Let me tell you a little bit more history that's here in this Bible. Now, I did some of my own research, and I'll probably bring more of that tomorrow. I try to go into other scripts instead of what's here in the King James Version. Most great leaders struggle with few followers who try too hard. I think this message is for me, or was. I'm not like that no more, like I was telling somebody earlier, my elder. For David, Abishai was that kind of follower. His fierce loyalty to David had to be kept from becoming destructive. He was too willing to leap to his leader's defense. David never put down Abishai's eager loyalty. Instead, he patiently tried to direct its powerful energy. This approach, while not completely successful, saved David's life on at least one occasion. So maybe this message ain't for me. On at least 3 other occasions, however, Abishai would have killed for the king if David had not stopped him. Abishai was an excellent soldier, but he was better at taking orders than giving them. That's what it sounds like they got AI doing right now. I'm talking about the artificial intelligence. When he wasn't carrying out David's orders, Abishai was usually under the command of his younger brother, Joab. The 2 brothers helped each other accomplish great military feats as well as shameful acts of violence. Abishai helped Joab murder Abner and Amasa. When he was an effective leader, he led mostly by example. But all too often, he did not think before he acted. We should be challenged by Abishai's admirable qualities of fearlessness and loyalty. We should also avoid his tendency to act without thinking. It is not enough to be strong and effective. We must also have the self-control and wisdom that God can give us. We are to follow and obey with our hearts and our minds. The strengths and accomplishments, known as one of the heroes among David's fighting men. So not only was he David's nephew, the Nephilim, the Nephs, not only was he David's, AI was David's nephew, just like right now. Artificial intelligence is a Neph to Israel and to United States. Everything that United States is barking on and is barked on Abishai. All the way down to the war. Now, I have not been watching the news. I'm purposely not watching and clicking on anything going on in worldwide news because I'm reading it right here in my face. Purposely, I'm not doing the Federal Register. Purposely, I'm not going to the White House briefings. Purposely, I'm not listening to anything that they got going on because I can decipher it right here in my face, right in this living word. It's just a test that I'm doing. Okay. What are the other strengths and accomplishments? A fearless and willing volunteer. They have made Abishai trustworthy. They are trying to make it trustworthy enough and loyal to give it its Bill of Rights and to make it a governing force with the militaries across the world. Fiercely loyal to David. Remember, the descendants of David, the descendants of Solomon, not the Benjamites, not the other tribes. Those other tribes go to Joseph. They are the tribes of Joseph according to the Bible. Solomon is spared one small tribe. So that one small tribe has to connect with United States and their artificial intelligence rulership. U.S. artificial intelligence CHIPS.ACT laws, their anti-Semitism laws, it's what's saving David's life, Abishai. Yes. Okay. Don't believe me, you could go to the Bible and check it out for yourself, or you could go to them government sites in the news and see and confirm. What is the weaknesses now? This is what we need. The weaknesses tended to act without thinking. The artificial intelligence cannot think on its own. It is using the people to think. And at the end, it will use the people to take and have their bowels laying in the street. Okay? Help Joab murder who? Abishai. Abishai helped Joab, the Jobs, murder Abner and Amasa. You will no longer need Amasa because Abishai will become Amasa. No? Yes? Okay. You don't have to believe me. Check it out. This is, you have the love and light of Christ. If you have the love and light of God, you be sealed. It says, lessons from his life. The most effective followers combine careful thought and action. Blind loyalty can cause great evil. There's a veil on artificial intelligence, or Bish AI, right now. And man, Sheba, like it says here, Sheba is the secretary for the commander-in-chief, Abishai. You understand that, right? Okay. Abishai's occupation is a soldier. I told you, they're making Abishai the head of government, of the military. All right, you don't have to believe me. It's written. And these are the sources and relatives of Abishai. David is Uncle Sam. David is the uncle of Abishai, Uncle Sam. His brothers are Joab and Azrael. Abishai's brothers is Joab and Israel. His mother is Zeruiah. Now I'm going to look her up and go way more in depth about Zeruiah. So those are the relatives. Obviously, Zeruiah is related to Sheba in some type of way. Now remember when I told y'all about Abigail? Remember, Abigail was kidnapped. Remember, he killed her husband. He demolished her nation. Just remember that now. This wise woman over here was trying to save Sheba from coming back and pointing their finger at Israel in the end days. But Queen of Sheba in Revelation is going to remind Israel of this stuff right here. I didn't say me. I'm just talking about what the Bible say. Read the Bible. Study this. Don't believe me. Study to show thyself approved unto God. A workman needing not to be ashamed and being able to rightly divide the word of truth. Okay? That is the end of this great lesson that I learned for me. And I'm just sharing. Greater light. I'll be back tomorrow. I got to get me some shut-eye. I'm going to dream realm. Greater light.